when your pig gives birth, in certain cases, it could stop eating. Now, this doesn't always happen, but in certain cases, in rare cases, because it rarely happens on our farm because of the kind of management we input to make sure it doesn't happen. But in certain cases, on some farms, it could happen that your pig gave birth, and after giving birth, it basically stopped eating. So, what could be the cause of this, and how can you handle such a situation? Well, there are two major causes of a pig stopping to eat after it gives birth. The very first one is bacterial infections, such as mastitis. Mastitis is the bacterial infection of the uterus, of the udder, and just the reproductive parts of the pig's body. Because, of course, as the pigs are giving birth, there could be certain bacteria that could develop, or certain infection that could develop. Then the other one is weakness. After giving birth, there might be high level of weakness, and before you know it, the pig will stop eating. So what will now be the solution? Well, first of all, when your pigs give birth, you should, in fact, before they even start giving birth, like let's say a week before they start giving birth, you should change their feed and make their feed to be more energy dense, because your pigs, as they are breastfeeding, there could be a lot of, in fact, as they are giving birth, there could be a lot of hormonal changes that will make them to stop eating their normal feed. So at that point, they will start craving for something sweeter. That is what they can eat. If it's their normal food, because their tongue is now used to that taste, their hormone might react to it, and they will not want to eat that same food again. So you must change your feed, make it to be sweeter. Probably you add more here on the farm. That's what we do whenever our pigs are about to give birth, and in some cases, if they stop eating, we incorporate things like crayfish. The crayfish, because of the high, crayfish has a strong aroma, and pigs love it. So we could incorporate it. We could incorporate, there's something else. I've forgotten the name of that one, but it's very, very sweet. So if you have crayfish at your disposal, you can incorporate it. That will make them to start eating again because of the taste, because of the aroma. So before your pigs give birth, you can do that, or you can also not do that and wait for them to give birth. Then after giving birth, if they stop eating, then you can incorporate that into their feed to make the feed more attractive for them to eat. That is that. Then, of course, if the cause was weakness, you should give them glucose. Once your pig gives birth and you notice that the pig is weak or is not really behaving as actively as it used to, then obviously it's weakness. So what you do is you get a glucose, put it inside water, and give it to drink. As it keeps drinking it, of course, it will start getting some energy, and then you can now place her on multivitamins for at least 5 days, because multivitamins will boost her appetite. But in cases of infection, where you know that this pig, you've tried the glucose, it's not working, you've tried the vitamins, it's not working, then obviously it's an infection. What you now do is you get a broad spectrum antibiotics. I hope this microphone is working. A broad spectrum antibiotics like oxytetracycline, that's the long-acting antibiotics, and you place her on the long-acting for like 3 to 4 days to be able to combat any kind of bacterial infection that is being developed in her body. Because if you don't do this, obviously it will get worse, and before you know it, she will stop breastfeeding her piglets, because a pig that is not eating cannot breastfeed. So this is basically how you handle a pig that is not eating. The first one is, if it's weakness, you give her glucose and place some multivitamin. Then, of course, you try to make the feed as attractive as possible by adding crayfish and cashew. I was trying to remember the second one, that is cashew. There's this cashew that they sell here. They usually mix it with granules, so it has a very sweet smell. So at times we get it and we give to our pigs. So you can either get cashew or granules or crayfish, and you put it in their feed. You mix it with their feed. It makes them to want to eat the feed more. So this is the second one. Then of course you treat for antibiotics. So this is basically the 3 ways you handle a pig that just gave birth that stopped eating. This is basically the 3 ways to handle such a situation.